Brandon Miller struggles in Game 2 of the NBA Summer League in Sacramento, California. And the Charlotte Hornets overall look like a complete mess. We're going to talk about it right now on the Lit. You know, when I look at the Charlotte Hornets and whatever it is they were trying to accomplish last night, I had a horrifying feeling a horrifying thought that came to my mind. And that horrifying thought was, are they going to ruin Brandon Miller? Now, before you stop and say I'm over-exaggerating or it's overblown, it's just Summer League, I want you to take a look back at the last 5 first-round draft picks for the Charlotte Hornets. And some notable names I want to talk about. James Bouknight, Dwayne Bacon, Malik Monk. All of these guys, when they discuss their time in Charlotte, or when you see their actions during their time in Charlotte, they look like guys that have just gotten out of a mental institution. And it's very hard to reconcile how one of the happiest things in your life, which is reaching the level that you always thought you should have reached, being on the level where you're in the NBA, you would think that these guys would be happy and they would be overjoyed at the fact that they're getting the opportunity to play in the NBA. But what happens is when they go down to Charlotte, everything takes a turn for the worse and their dreams become nightmares. Shout out to Meek Mill. Because the development in Charlotte, the way that they build young players in Charlotte, the way that they treat young players in Charlotte, the way that they constantly put them in a bad position, in a position not to succeed. It's very hard watching young men year in and year out go to Summer League with no point guard, go to Summer League with no structure, go to Summer League with no plan. They are pretty much the laughing stock of Summer League basketball. They look inadequate each year. They look overwhelmed each year. They look like they have no recipe for success. I remember when I was in Summer League a year ago, or 2 years ago now, I remember thinking to myself, why are they running James Bouknight at the point guard position? Knowing when he came out of UConn, he was known as a combo guard scorer, a score-first guard. Now all of a sudden, you want to turn all of that on his heels on the highest level in basketball and start playing this guy as the point guard in Summer League. I'm seeing the same things with Brandon Miller. One of the main things that was said about Brandon Miller is that Brandon Miller was out of shape because of the monovirus that he caught, and also that he needs to hit the weight room. He's not strong enough to really compete day in and day out on his level. So to compound the problem, instead of putting him in a position, the best position to succeed, they put him in a position to fail by playing him at the 4. I mean, I just can't understand what it is they're trying to do in Charlotte. I keep trying to wrap my head around what is the plan? What are we trying to do? What are we trying to accomplish? How can we succeed? How can we best utilize these young guys so we're getting the bang for our buck with these draft picks? And the answers that they keep coming up with just keep coming up short. Time after time last night, if you watch Brandon Miller, he was in a position not to succeed. Catching the ball at the top of the key with his back to the basket because he's the screen man. Instead of the play going through him, he's a decoy and he's a screener for one of the 3 guards that are all score-first guards. Look at the lineup that he has out there with him. Nick Smith Jr., James Bouknight, Bryce McGowan. All 3 of these guys are looking to score. Bryce McGowan, North Carolina, South Carolina, Carolina fans, Carolina homebodies, whatever you are. Bryce McGowan is not good at basketball. To me, he has the lowest IQ on the entire team. I have not seen an IQ as low as Bryce McGowan since Jalen McDaniels. Every time this guy gets the ball, he puts his head down, barrels towards the rim, and throws up a shot. He has no inclination, no instinct to pass the ball, to get other guys involved. He is sitting there each time looking to score, to the point where Brandon Miller was so frustrated with the lack of touches that he got in the fourth quarter. Him and Bryce McGowan had a little spat at the free throw line, because it has to be frustrating to be the number 2 pick and play 3 quarters and only touch the basketball in scoring positions 5 times. He's already under a lot of scrutiny. He's already under a lot of hate, because we all know that you have a whole fan base out here, man base out here called, Scoot Sign My Breast, the Scoot Sign My Breast gang. You know what I mean? Shout out to you if you're part of the Scoot Sign My Breast gang. You know what I'm saying? So the young man is already in a position where people want to see him fail with that and the off-the-court issues. And the Charlotte Hornets are just not doing anything to help this guy succeed. Look at the shooting splits. 2 of 4 from the floor, 50%. 1 of 2 from the three-point line, 50%. He's not playing bad basketball. The fouls, let him have all the fouls he wants. It's summer league. I don't care. The turnovers need to be cleaned up. The turnovers is because he doesn't understand his personnel, and he's trying to force the ball to guys that don't need the ball in open space. Kai Jones is responsible for 2 of those turnovers in the first half. When he's driving down the court, Brandon Miller gets a steal, drives down the court, kicks ahead to Kai Jones, steal. Kicks ahead again to Kai Jones, steal. In the fourth quarter, the last turnover that he got, he's passing the ball to a wide open Nick Smith Jr., and Nick Smith just muffles the ball. He just muffs it. Ball goes out of bounds. Turnover on Brandon Miller. Time and time again, this guy is not being put in a position to succeed, and it's really unfair. It's hard to really analyze and judge what you're seeing from Brandon Miller, because the talent around him and the way they got this roster made is so inept, it's so bad that you can't get a proper evaluation for him. Look, I don't think it's a point guard on the team. And to be honest with you, some of the best point guard plays that have been made the first 2 games are all from Brandon Miller. Brandon Miller passing it to the open guy. Brandon Miller manipulating the defense, looking one way, no look pass to Kai Jones in the paint. It's like we're having to see this guy in spots. It's just like with LaMelo year 1. LaMelo was having to overcome all of these things. And LaMelo was such a talent, he was able to do it. Brandon Miller is a very talented young man, but will he be talented enough to survive Charlotte's horrible rotations, survive these horrible guard lineups? What is the plan for Brandon Miller? Are we thinking of playing Brandon Miller at the 4? I just need some answers, man. But y'all tell me what y'all think down there in the comment section below after watching that tragic event last night. That was game 2 against the Golden State Warriors. Don't forget, we're going to be live tomorrow night for game 3 against Victor Wembanyama. Make sure you pull up in the house of the lit. And jump down here in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel. Let me know what y'all think about Brandon Miller's first 2 performances. Are you worried? Is it on him? Is it on the team? Does he need to be more aggressive? Y'all let me know. Share this video, like the video, subscribe to the channel.